All right, so you're in a beginning stage with your cleaning business, but you're stuck on the same thing that trips up most people before they ever even start. And that is this question: should you hire subcontractors or should you hire employees? With subcontractors, are you giving away too much power? But with employees, is hiring too expensive? What's the real difference? Well, you're going to know that in this very video. I'm going to take great care of you. We're not going to mess around. You're also going to have the answer to these three important questions that may be keeping you confused. Starting with question number one: what's the real difference between subcontractors and hiring employees that actually matters? Question two: what's the easiest way to start with your first contract? And question number three: when do you have to choose which path you're going to commit to for your business? Before we dive in, Mike Mack here, founder of AutomatedCleaningBusiness.com. I wrote a new microbook called the $5,000 Client Playbook: How to Build a Cleaning Business You Don't Need a Vacation From. If you want a copy, it's free. Second link in the description. Now, let's dive in, starting with question number one. What's the difference between hiring a subcontractor and hiring employees to do the cleaning for your business? Well, let me break this down really simple, okay? A subcontractor, think of them like a freelancer. They have their own business and they clean your account, you pay them, and that's it, really. You don't control how they do the work. You just tell them what needs to get done and then they go do it. Sounds straightforward, right? What about an employee? Well, an employee works for you. You train them, you tell them how to do the job, you're responsible for them. They wear your uniform and ultimately you manage them. Now, that is a basic difference between them. You can find that on Google, but let's talk about the good and the bad for each and how it applies to this business specifically. And we're going to be starting with subcontracting first. So let's discuss the good. All right, number one: more hands-off approach, less management ultimately. So, you don't have to train them or babysit them. You just send them to do the job. Simple as that. Number two: easy to plug in. Now, they already know how to clean, so you're not teaching anybody from scratch, so that could be a big pro. And number three, for the good: simple to replace if they don't work out. You're not married to them. It's very plain and dry. It's a 1099. If you want to go in a different direction, you could just go in a different direction. That's about it. And the fourth thing is, it's just easier when it comes time to pay them. Pretty black and white, pretty straightforward. Now, there are some drawbacks to hiring subs. So let's tackle the not so good, starting with number one: less control over quality. And the reason why that's the case is because they're going to do things their way ultimately and not yours. And that can be fine, but it could also bite you as well. If your subs don't have the same, let's say, eye for quality, that could lead you to losing great customers after a while. The number two not so great thing is that they may not show up to these accounts the way you would show up to these accounts. What I mean is, when you're hiring subs, you can't tell them what they should wear. So if a dress code matters to you, that could be potentially a reason not to hire a sub. But honestly, that just depends on the way you want to run your business. It may not even mean that much to you. Now, the third thing is they don't necessarily care about your reputation like you do. Now, this could be said about both employees and subcontractors, don't get me wrong, but with employees, you have more control over the situation than when you hire subs. Much more. So again, this is not like an end-all be-all, but again, it's something I want to put on your radar nonetheless. So let's discuss employees now. Starting with number one: you get to build a real team. Now, this is your squad. These are your people. They wear your shirt and they represent you. That's a big deal. Number two: you build a culture. You can create something in your local area that people want to be a part of, and you get to be a great boss and you get to make the environment fun. And when you can do that, then you're never going to have a problem keeping people for the long haul, which directly ties into number three: long-term stability. See, when you build things right, employees tend to stick around longer and they grow with you. They become your backbone. Your clients tend to connect with them, and then you have this little bit of like a family environment. I've done it many times, and it's an awesome thing to be a part of. And the fourth thing: more control over how things get done. Think about it. You train them your way. You set your standards, and this is stuff you're going to be able to use in your marketing, because you're going to be able to make big promises to your potential clients and keep them because you have a team that's dialed in. But now, to be fair, there are some not so great things. Starting with number one: more setup, payroll, taxes, paperwork. It's more to figure out at first. Number two: more responsibility. You're responsible for them, the hours, their payroll, their emotions, and ultimately their success. Now, here's my takeaway after my decade plus of experience. Employees are the better long-term answer. See, for me, I've used subcontractors before and I'll use them again. But employees give you more staying power, in my view, more control, and something real to grow. But is hiring employees the easiest way to start this business? Well, let's talk about it. Because question number 2 is, what is the easiest way to start with your first contract? And this is where most beginners freeze up, and it stops them from going out there, landing their first contract, and ultimately building that dream company. So let me ask you this question, honestly. Have you ever had these thoughts pop into your head? Starting with number 1. How do I go about paying someone? What about payroll taxes? Do I need workers' comp? What if I hire the wrong person? What if I land this account and nobody is there to clean it? What if I mess up? What if this kills my reputation? Have you had any of these thoughts pop into your head? If you have, congratulations, you're a human. No, but what I mean is, in all seriousness, it just means it's normal. I myself have been there. I remember starting out, my wife and I, when it was time to hire our first cleaner, my brain was filled with those very same questions, along with, what if we never find anyone to clean? Oh my goodness, I'm going to become a professional cleaner for the rest of my life, and I'm going to be stuck. But you know what I realized after a while? It's all just mind junk. That's it. See, there's a much simpler way to get started. So if you have those thoughts rolling in your mind, I got you. Is it hiring employees? Well, it can be. But that's if you know how to recruit. If you know how to hire. If you know how to train employees, then yes, hiring them to start is a piece of cake. But what if you don't have that experience? I don't recommend you start with employees. Yes, I actually recommend you start with a subcontractor. And here's the main reason why. It's going to give you the least amount of resistance when you get your first few clients, so you can get them onboarded, get them paying you thousands every month. See, that's a good way to start. And this is something you got to remember. In the very beginning, it's about minimizing resistance. Because if you can start stacking some wins early on, your motivation is going to skyrocket. Your belief is going to skyrocket, and your company, and ultimately the money you make, is going to skyrocket. But here's where it gets people confused. They hear someone say, start with a subcontractor, and then they think that means subcontractors forever. Or they hear employees are the better long-term way to go, and they think, oh, I have to pick one and stick with it. What should I do? How should I get this ball rolling? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about in question number 3, which is, when should you choose the path that you're going to commit to for your cleaning business? Now, let's say you land your first office contract, all right? You get your first win under your belt, build some confidence. Then your next 3 accounts, you hire employees. You're building a team. Things are starting to roll. You're feeling really good. But then you land a sweet little $400 account that maybe wasn't on your radar, but you landed them. But they're about an hour away. Now, do you send one of your employees out there for such a small account that's so far away? Or what if, again, somebody who knows someone tells you, hey, I have this office. It's only $250 a month. But it's like basically falling in your lap. Now, these can be great clients, easy money, and you never really have to worry about it. But again, it's just way too small to justify bringing in an employee. See, this is where you need to know how to use what. Now, here's what I've learned. If you want to build a business for the long haul, a culture, a work environment that feels like family and something to be proud of, then employees need to be your foundation. Now, that's 85%, I would say. That should be your default. But that doesn't mean you completely rule out subcontractors. There are actually 2 situations where subcontractors make so much sense when you're up and running. Starting with situation number 1. Your first couple of contracts, like we just talked about. I want you to minimize resistance, get the wins, and then build the momentum. And what about situation number 2? Well, that's small accounts that are still profitable, but maybe it's just $300 a month. See, that's too small in my view to hire an employee, put equipment there. Instead, you may want to subcontract those. Is that it, or is there a third situation? There is. I know I said 2, my bad, but there is. Now that I'm thinking about it, if the account is far away, maybe it's like an hour or more, and you're just like, man, this is a good client, But to go up there, that could just be a little much. Find a subcontractor that lives like 10 minutes away from that building. There's a high probability that this could be a great contract for you for years, and it's one that you don't have to send employees to. But for me, that's it. Those are the times when subcontractors make sense. Other than that, I want the rest of my business, I want the rest of my army to be employees, at least 85% of the team, that is. And in my experience, that's how you build something that you could potentially sell one day or pass off to your kids. See, for me, it's always been employees. I like control. I like building a team. I like walking into a building and knowing my people are taking care of it. But I still use subcontractors when it makes sense, like a small cleaning account or a building that is just way too far away. Now look, if there's anything I want you to take away from this video is that don't let the little things get in your way. And if you feel like you need help setting this business up, landing those high ticket contracts consistently, and building a cleaning army while only putting in a few hours a week, then click the first link in the description, book a call, talk with my team, see if we'd be a good fit to work with each other. Or maybe you're like, no, Mike, I'm in a YouTube University state of mind. Then I want you to watch this video right here. I've prepared it for you. I'm hanging out. I'm already there waiting for you. Go over there. Let's chat about the next topic. Peace out, Cub Scouts.